I'm considering another property to buy in a very luxurious neighborhood that I can acquire with very minimal down payment. The only thing is that it has an HOA. And like, I'm a little bit skeptical because of that. I'm looking into the CC&Rs at the moment. So I wanted to ask you, can any property be Airbnb, or does it vary by city? Does it vary by HOAs? And can you elaborate a little bit on that? And if there's any mistakes that you or any of your students have done, if you can elaborate on that, that would be helpful. And just so you know, I always ask like 3 questions at a time.
Yeah, no. Okay. No problem. All right. So the question about HOAs, I don't buy in HOAs.
Okay.
Even if the HOA allows you to do short-term rentals, I don't buy into it because, as you know, the power goes to the HOA.
Yeah, and they can change that at any time, right?
At any given time, so they can change. So I don't do that. Again, it's personal preference. I try to minimize my risk.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be on an HOA.
Especially like, let's say that there's 10 Airbnb rentals in an HOA, and then the HOA bans it. Now you've got 10 owners that were relying on that income that now maybe they have to sell all at the same time. And now basically you might be taking a haircut on that property if you buy in that HOA.
100%. So that's why I don't do that. I don't buy an HOA. So now remind me what your other question was.
So the other question was if there are restrictions by the city. And I'm asking you this because I'm looking into my market now. And I know that one of the cities has restrictions on apartment complexes. They have restrictions in a certain area. So I wanted to kind of get your feeling on that.
So I can only speak for Florida because I don't go to other places. Now, I do go to conferences and I have talked to other people. Regulation is a problem in some cities. In California specifically, it's what's it, Bear Mountain or Bear, what's it called?
Big Bear.
Big Bear. Yeah. Big Bear has, there's only, in their regulation, only a certain amount of homes can be on Airbnb.
Really?
So they capped it. Yeah. Now there's a lawsuit, and the lawsuit's probably going to win. So I'll give you an example here in Florida, and again, this is where most of my experience is. The city of Miami Beach at one point banned vacation rentals, could not have Airbnb. Well, residents of Miami Beach sued and won because you can't ban it. So Florida now has a law that states you cannot restrict someone from
doing what they want to do with their property, basically.
Correct. Now, what they can do, and what some cities do, and this is another thing in legislation that's looking to be changed, although I don't know if I'm in favor of it, is that cities can regulate it, and they can put whatever restrictions or regulations they want, as long as it doesn't restrict the owner from actually renting it. So I'll give you an example, because it varies from city. Hollywood, the city of Hollywood is in Florida, is probably the most, or has the most requirements. And I don't think any of the requirements are unreasonable. I don't think they're obstacles. They're just extra steps. So I'll give you an example of the most common stuff that they require. And even if the regulation wasn't there, I would still have these things, right? They require smoke detectors in every room. They're required, if it's a 1-story, you only need 1 fire extinguisher. But if it's 2-story, you need 2, or 3 stories, you need 3. It's 1 fire extinguisher per story. Some cities require an evacuation map to be placed on the doors. City of Hollywood requires that you have an exit sign on the front door and the back door. So stuff like that is required by the city. And the city requires, or county or state requires, that you get a license. Now the license, for example, the city of Fort Lauderdale, city of Hollywood, city of Pompano, it's just a city business license that you need to get. Very inexpensive, doesn't require much. I'm actually in favor of limited regulation, and I want to say limited. And the reason I'm in favor of those things is because it creates, it becomes an industry. Yeah, it creates standards and professionalizes the industry. right?
Well, now wait, if I have a tent, does that mean I have to have a fire extinguisher if I'm renting out one of those tents? I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, but yeah, and in Florida you can't do that. So it doesn't apply in Florida. That doesn't apply in Florida.
Yeah.
But it standardizes that. So because I've been doing this for a long time, have not had, knock on wood, any major incidents on any of my properties. And it's very uncommon to have a major.
Yeah.
But it happens. I mean, look what happened in Oakland or San Francisco in the Halloween party, right? But I've always said we in the industry are the ones at fault, not the city officials, not your neighbor, you, because you control the property. You need to make sure that you govern your property accordingly. So make sure nobody's throwing a party. Make sure you have to supervise your property. Just listing it on Airbnb and hoping everything's going to be fine, it's not going to cut it.